Vi ska köra igång och då har jag min kollega Viktor Lindbäck från Riksantikvarieämbetet som ska presentera nästa föredragshållare.
Jag heter Viktor Lindbäck, jag jobbar som verksamhetsutvecklare på Riksantikvarieämbetet i Visby i kulturarvsstudion och jag har min bakgrund inom arkeologi och religionsvetenskap. Jobbar nu med olika former utav digital förmedling. Nästa presentation kommer att behandla ett väldigt aktuellt och angeläget exempel på hur 3D-teknik kan användas för att dokumentera och bevara hotat kulturarv mitt under ett pågående krig. Presentationen hålls av Skeiron som är ett företag baserat i Lviv, Ukraina och som sedan 2016 har arbetat med 3D-dokumentation och olika former av visualisering genom 3D och AR. Efter den 24 februari i år har arbetet med 3D-dokumentation av byggnader och monument mångdubblats och hittills har ett 50-tal hotade objekt i Ukraina 3D-skannats. Arbetet genomförs som ett projekt med titeln Save Ukrainian Heritage där Skeiron också tar hjälp av andra organisationer, företag, institutioner och privatpersoner i sitt arbete. För det här är ett brådskande arbete. Jobbar man under de omständigheter som nu råder i Ukraina, där byggnader bokstavligen kan försvinna från den ena dagen till den andra, då kan man inte sitta och fundera allt för mycket och länge på hur och varför man ska 3D-skanna, utan här gäller det att handla innan det är för sent. Och här har vi en hel del att lära om effektiva metoder och arbetsflöden, eftersom det inte enbart är krig som gör att byggnader, miljöer och monument hastigt och oväntat kan förstöras, förändras och till och med försvinna helt. Jag såg själv ett exempel för snart 2 veckor sedan då jag var till Glimmingehus och såg hällristningarna vid Järrestad. Där hade hällristningen som kallas dansaren blivit något vag i konturerna på grund av att något okänt ljushuvud har hällt flytande silikon över hällristningen, troligen för att gjuta av den. Och det är inte första gången som hällristningar avsiktligen eller oavsiktligen har blivit vandaliserade. Och då är det bra att ha en ordentlig skanning bevarad för framtida forskning. So with this said, I will leave it to Yura and Andrei from Skeiron to introduce yourselves, your organization and your remarkable work in the field of digital cultural heritage preservation. Thank you.
Hello everyone, can you hear me? So, my name is Yura Prepodobnyi and I am one of the co-founder of the Skeiron organization. And our team is engaged in scanning cultural heritage monuments in Ukraine. And I will tell you about us a little from afar. We 3 guys, myself in left side, Yura, Andrei and Volodya. We are 3 classmates from junior school who then studied together at the university, and we interested in the same things. And we decided to create our business at the end of the 2015 while we studied at the moment. I studied surveying and I saw the possibility of laser scanning and photogrammetry technology, and friend studies computer science. So this something new does not scare us too much. Then we bought our first drone. Of course, we broke the drone at the first opportunity, but that didn't stop us. So we started doing project with land measurement. Sometimes we had project based on VR technology. Less often we just did video shooting, and when we did everything and nothing concrete, and things were not going well. And in 2019, it was extremely difficult to work, and we gave ourselves half year to change something. If we didn't change, we should change our main activity. So the first such explosive project was the scanning of Church St. Olga and Elizabeth, and this model was very detailed and shows the capability of scanning technologies. For that model, we made over 12,000 photos, and after that big project, we decided that enough to work. We need to talk a little more about our work. We started going to a conference, giving presentation, and talking about scanning and digital architecture movement, and it worked. On that time, we started our first museum project. It was Mikhail Hrushevsky Museum in Lviv. He's a Ukrainian historian, politician, and public figure. We scanned not only the museum building, but also the exhibition. And with QR code, you can look at that models. And from this moment, we launched our project, which called Museums 3D. And now I would like to talk about projects that started by accident. We were invited to VRR conference in Kharkiv. It's the eastern part of Ukraine. At that time, we had just brochure with renders of heritage sites. Volodya added into the brochure some 3D models, and it became very popular in that exhibition. And it was like another explosion, and we had nothing left. We create Pocket City AR project. The first, it was Lviv with already scanned site. We scanned a few more to complete our sets with postcards. And that project became an ideal way to tell about activities and tell the average citizen what scanning is and how it works. And it became awesome advisement for Skeiron. After that trial project about Lviv, we created a general 7 sets of postcards. We traveled around Ukraine, scanned the biggest cities. Sometimes we cooperate with local guys who do laser scans at photogrammetry. And we create that sets with that Pocket City souvenirs with augmented reality with 3D models. My favorite set of postcards is Lviv region cards, located below in the right corner. That set shows the bad shape of a lot of sites in Lviv region, which has a horrible situation, and a lot of them has no roof, and that's one way how to get attention to that sites from that postcards. So in a year and a half, we prepared 80 items to these sets. I want to explain that is object differ in the quality of scanning, because Pocket City didn't need super detailed scans. For example, we made the model of Chernivtsi University, which you can see here. It's a huge UNESCO site in Ukraine, for my opinion, in the greatest UNESCO sites in Ukraine. And we scanned that site just by photogrammetry and drone. Now I am sitting in front of you from Chernivtsi, and our team do a high quality scanning to that university at that moment. Over these years, we have managed to implement many projects, from scanning monuments and museum exhibition, 3D printing and virtual tours, VR and AR, and much more project. And the most important thing about this project is that they introduce people to the possibility of scanning technology. More and more often, our works were in the basic for conservation or restoration project, like this Church of All Saints in Hodovice. It's near the Lviv. And we have an accident when destroyed landmark was restored based on our 3D model. It's a famous Ukrainian mosaic, which called rybki, in English fishes. And after destroying by workers, now that mosaic restored. On February 24, full-scale invasion of Russia began, and our lives changed. The first week we was in shock, and it was for everyone. Volodya went to war because he's a soldier. We trained a police officer to fly drones, and every day we observed the destruction of culture object throughout Ukraine. Map of damage of culture object you can find on the website of Ukrainian Culture Foundation. And as October 27, according to UNESCO, 207 culture object was being destroyed in Ukraine. They counted only those who suffered directly. UNESCO makes a conclusion based on satellite images. The Ministry of Culture of Ukraine counted over 500 damages objects as of 1st of November. 2 weeks after the start of the war, the Polish foundation, which called Polonika, contacted us and offered to cooperate. They were able to attract funding for the scanning of the largest monument in Lviv, which had not been scanned yet. So we returned to the work and decided to create the Save Ukrainian Heritage project. Now I suggest you watch the small video.
Tyvärr så får vi inget ljud nu, men jag tror att vi ska kunna lägga ut länken så ni kan titta på den själva sedan.
Sorry?
Oh, English. Sorry, Yuri. We can't get the sound to go through, but I'm happy that we see the film anyway, and then after your presentation we'll put a link to the website, to the YouTube, for them to see with sound.
Okay, you can look at images. It tells a lot, I guess.
The church that you started the presentation with, or this is another church?
Here I want to give an example where scanning an object was very useful. This is the story of Notre Dame in Paris, which was badly damaged in 2019. Of course, you all know that story, all the story. Thanks for that guy, it's been scanned. I know you can hear that sound, so just 20 seconds show you for you.
Very good introduction to the lecture that we're going to have later today after the lunch break. Mm-hmm. So it's perfect, Yura, that you incorporate the Notre Dame.
That video tells us scan was made in 2015 by Andrew Tallon, and thanks for that scanning, now they can recreate all building as it was before the fire. One of the first objects of the Save Ukrainian Heritage project was St. Andrew Church. First of all, we in these scans we focus on the most important elements of the object. Here's facades and rich interiors, especially frescoes and sculptures. This video has no sound, so you didn't miss anything. To plan work, you need to know what has been already scanned. We collect all this information in our knowledge table. For this purpose, we communicate with monuments preservation organization from Lviv region, Kyiv, Lutsk, Chernivtsi, and we create such big tables for this region of Ukraine. And I want to tell a little bit about the equipment. Our main tool is a laser scanner. So for this, such simple, a little bit heavy, good scanners like a C10, like a P20, and they are on the left side. We hope one day we'll be able to upgrade them to newest one, like this, like a RTC 360 on the right side, much more faster, lighter, newest scanner. We also use cameras, drones. Drone is incredible tool for scanning when you can scan the top of the building or look somewhere where you can see from the ground. And the camera with a good flashes helps to display the colors of frescoes and mosaics in the highest details. From above, we see our partners. Most of them help us with software or which assess to use their platform. For example, one of them is a Yura platform. We can show you these 3D models in high details online. It's easy to use. Below you can see the numbers 39, which is the number of objects what we scanned since the beginning of the war in our Save Ukrainian Heritage project. And that number increases every week. Now our team has increased by 5 workers. Now there are 10 people in our team, and we are very glad that we can help people with work in that time, because economic situation in Ukraine is really bad. So this is our map where all of the objects which we were working since the March of 2022, and you can look at that by QR code. And here some backstage, and we are working surrounded by incredible beauty of sites while working. This is video from scanning of UNESCO monument in Lviv, Church of St. Yura. During this operation, we put from 50 to 300 scanning stations. Sometimes this number exceeds 500, 600. In Chernivtsi, we think we will have over 1,500 laser stations. We load them into like a software, like a Cyclone Register 360, to combine that scanners together and merge them. And here, if you look closely at the picture, you will see the white dots. Here's the photos what we took, and middle of the domes are made by drones. is video how the drone work inside the temple. Thousands of photos are taken during the scans in the mini cathedral, for example. More than 4,000 photos were taken. After combined all data in the second register 360, we exported them, and after that we import photo data, laser scanning data into reality capture and merge them and make model with strong size from each technology. Now you saw the Andrea Church, and here's the ceiling of Andrea Church. You can saw that in the few videos ago. This is another projection from reality capture from church in Jolpa. And this frescoes from the church is very interesting because the religion there is mixing with national, and here a lot of time of Cossacks and Ukrainian liberation struggles. We are happy to have the honor of preserving this fresco in 3D model. And this is the same church in Jolpa, and you can see the same white dots. It's a photos from drone. And another software what we use is the ScanSub, and we import scan data here. On that program, we can easily create 2D plan, 2D images, and after that they can easily be used for special drawing. And here's a plan of the mini cathedral in Lviv. And any elements of the church, sculptures, forms can be saved in that picture, and it can be easily drawn. And also we often create very beautiful pictures and especially sculptures. And after that, you can scan this QR code, look at a few more objects, and choose what you want, and look easily on your mobile phones or laptops. This is the Yura Church, UNESCO site in Lviv, Ukraine. Here lives that QR for you. Thank you.
Thank you, Yura. Thank you very much for your presentation. I've been thinking about how to address you because you are in an extreme situation for the moment, in a full-scale war. Many of us couldn't see this coming in the beginning of 2022, and therefore it's easy to just stay in the human aspect of your situation. I will try now today to focus on your work with your cultural heritage, digital documentation, and especially save Ukrainian heritage. So first of all, I would just ask Karin, do we have any questions from the chat? Okay, we'll see if they will start popping in while you and I speak. I have some questions for you. In this project, Save Ukrainian Heritage, you've been working with inviting everyone to join in. And so my question is, how is it to work with non-professionals and volunteers? What has been difficult and what has been easy?
The easiest what the volunteers can do, the volunteer as usually has some fire inside, and if you have that fire, you can easily teach wherever you want. The scanning, it's not the scanning by laser scanners. Scanners is not the hardest skill what you can learn. So now in Chernivtsi, we have few students, and now we train them. And I think maybe tomorrow they can easily make that scanning by themselves. After that, we create some workshops with post-processing work, and we teach them, and they becoming more skillful on that way. For example, one guy who joined our team maybe in April 2022. Now he is high quality guy to teach another person. It's the easiest, I guess, way about volunteers. The hardest. Sometimes if that fire inside so big, so you can control that. If you don't know how to do that scanning, but you have feeling, you have to help them. It's not always helpful when you're just trying to do something. Just look what we are doing. Just contact with us. We had experience when we involve few guys from another company, especially on surveying field in Ukraine. We have a horrible situation with salaries, with work. Of course, it's a big problem. So we try to split our work between that organization so they can find some money, create some work, because it's very important to feel. It's very important when the person understands he is important, and now that person has a much better mood than before. So we try to help a little bit for surveying area.
It's I'm become so glad or happy when you talk about the fire that people have for the cultural heritage. It's heartwarming to hear. Karin, I know we have some questions from the chat to you.
Yeah, we have a couple of questions. What about the long-term preservation of the raw data and models? Do you have any cooperation with any institutions, museums for data preservation?
As we work on that area, we really understand what we need at that time. Before the war, we didn't have any virtual backup or online backup our storage. As war started, we created another server. We contact with Dropbox storage, with Google Drive storage, and we copy all our data to that storage, and we trying to just share the data to that storage. And after the war, in Ukrainian we say after the winning, we can easily manage that data and split the data to a preservation organization who can use the data because we can't create a restoration project. It's not our goals. We just create models and share that who wants to do that. But now the main idea to collect the data. and keep the data in safe.
It is like Victor said in the beginning, for the moment we can't really think about too much logistics. You just have to do the documentation for the moment. Yes, Karin, we have more questions.
Yeah, here's a question from Malmö Museum. Do you see your work as an act of resistance?
Can you repeat? Maybe I misunderstood something.
Yeah, if you can see your work, is it an act of resistance against Russia and the war?
No, we haven't seen thankful. So we hope our work will not be used for any sides, but you never know. Just Andrew Tallon, which scanned Notre Dame in 2015, didn't think if something like fire will happen. So we have no examples.
Thank you. It's maybe it's more about saving what you can save. Like we can see that during wars that has happened before, that attacks are directly towards the cultural heritage to hurt people's connections to their history and their identity. So maybe not resistance, but for sure you are saving a cultural heritage of Ukraine. I think we have more questions, Karin. No, that's all?
No.
And you also talked about in your presentation about UNESCO's report about how many monuments that has been damaged in the war. I think you said 207 monuments since February 2022. And we have like 13 museums, 10 libraries, and lots of buildings, monuments that are destroyed. Has any of those that are destroyed, do you have any documentation of those? Did you manage to document any of those that has been destroyed?
No. So I'm not sure about all our data. My colleague Andrei said we had some data about some data from east of Ukraine, because we as Skeiron team, we located in Lviv region and western part of Ukraine, and Ukraine is very wide country, and we just have maybe 10 objects from east part of Ukraine. Now near Bakhmut city, in near Donetsk region, here a lot of fighting at that moment, a lot of missiles, and we had one church, but we don't have any information about that church.
Thank you. One question for us that would be good to know, when you do your documentation. Earlier today we had Thomas and Henrik talking about an estimate on how long time it will take to document a site or a building. Have you any estimations, or do you have any results on how long time? Do you have any key numbers on how long time it will take to document different kind of objects?
Yeah, it's always depends of kind of object, of course. We did a lot of scanning of wooden church in our region. For scanning one church, it takes less than 2 days as general. As usually it's 1 day. When we scanned St. Yura Church, a UNESCO site in Lviv region, we spent over 2 weeks, day by day, scanning. Now we in Chernivtsi, and I think we will be here maybe 2 or 3 weeks with scanning day by day. It depends how many equipment, how many employees you have. laser scanners, it's expensive tools. We had one like charity from abroad, from Germany, and it increased our work in 2 times. It's very dependent. If we have 3 or more, it's easily increased at speed, but it's expensive tool, of course.
I must thank you for a very good answer on a very tricky question, because it is difficult to do an estimate, because it's so different. It depends so much on what you are to document. I know also that next week we have the Swedish National Heritage Board has their annual autumn meeting, and I know that you're going to be part a little bit during next week, so we will see each other again. But for now on, Yuri, we have one more question. Good. You see, we are a little bit late here in Sweden, but questions will pop up.
The first is, how many people are at the moment involved in the 3D scanning and modeling work?
I just can say, especially about our team. Our team has 10 employees. We cooperate with another team. We involve from one team 2 guys for scanning. From another team we also involve 1 person. And we had an example when guys from abroad come to Ukraine and help scan sites. Maybe you heard about Emmanuel Duran. They come to Ukraine and scan a few objects in Chernihiv region, near Bucha. Now we become a great friends. I guess he did a lot because he spread that information to the whole world, what is in Ukraine and what is going and how it be possible to preserve that. He is a little bit crazy guy because he took his helmet, his laser scanner, and went Kharkiv. And so,
okay.
And also we had another initiative which called Backup Ukraine. That guys share a lot of information about Ukraine. He is not maybe highest quality, but he is a great guys with high communication skill. And thanks for Tao and how much he did for us, especially for Ukrainian heritage.
Thank you. Karin, one more question. How do you prioritize between the objects, and are the local government, are they helping?
We create our table with sites what we already scanned. We contact with local government and they know better what they need to scan the first time. Our priority was the UNESCO site at first. In Lviv region been scanned, not only Lviv region, western part of Ukraine. Here we have 8 or 9 maybe 8 or 9 wooden church of UNESCO. They already scanned, and after that, local government creates a list of priority. We collaborate with Polonica Foundation. They support us a lot with Ali Foundation. They prepare some funding to that job to scan that site. We never choose what we should scan. We can ask what we want, but the last word always goes from Heritage Protection Organization.
Thank you. So with that said, I think there's out of questions in the chat, and there's been a pleasure listening to your presentation. Looking forward to see you next week. We will have a short break now, but for the moment, Yuri, thank you very much.